Hello everyone, it's Tectonics, and if you're like me and you have been playing a ton of Battlefield 6 since it dropped and you are looking to take your gameplay to the next level, then you've come to the right place. So without further ado, let's look at the only 6 tips and tricks you will need for Battlefield 6. Our first tip is to master the weapon mounting system. Most players completely overlook weapon mounting in Battlefield 6, and that is a huge mistake, as it is one of the most effective ways to control recoil and maintain accuracy, ensuring that you win those mid to long range gunfights. When you do use the weapon mounting system, the game automatically stabilizes your aim and you'll notice recoil patterns will tighten and your weapon sway almost disappears, ensuring that every shot you fire lands way more consistently. Many players avoid mounting because it feels restrictive, thinking that it limits mobility, when in actual fact you get a huge benefit using it, as not only do you get the recoil control, but the majority of your body is also behind a safe cover that cannot be shot. And if you do get shot at while mounted, you can unmount and reposition instantly while behind a safe cover. Tip number 2 is to take advantage of the minimap. Now, I myself am guilty of this, but there is a ton of information available at all times right in the corner of your screen, and if you are not making the most out of it, then you are wasting some seriously valuable information. Enemies will show up when they are pinged or when they are shooting on your radar, along with an arrow which will either indicate if they are above you, below you, or on the same level as you, which gives you a ton of valuable information about where exactly they are. Now, as I said, I myself am guilty of not using the minimap as much as I sometimes should be. However, on those times when I really do lock in and make the most out of the minimap, the difference in my gameplay and ability to win gunfights and games is really noticeable and reminds me every time why exactly I should make the most out of my minimap. Tip number 3 is to adjust your settings and controls for clarity and responsiveness. Battlefield 6 has a huge range of visual settings that completely change how the game looks and feels. Take some time to fine-tune these settings to your preference, but there are a few settings that everyone should adjust no matter what. You should turn off or reduce world motion blur, weapon motion blur, camera shake, and chromatic aberration. All of these effects might make the game look more cinematic, but they actually make it harder for you to see, aim, and react during fights. For example, if a grenade explodes right next to you and your camera shake is set to high, your screen will go crazy, making it nearly impossible to track targets. Whereas on the other hand, if you've got it turned all the way down, and suddenly you've got a clear view and full control in those situations, giving you a real advantage in those chaotic fights. These tweaks can make you faster, more accurate, and instantly more consistent in combat. Tip number 4 is to play the objective. This isn't COD. Battlefield 6 is built around large-scale team-focused combat. The maps are huge, player counts are higher, and respawn times are longer than Call of Duty, which means every death and every capture point matters way more than you think. Too many players get distracted farming kills instead of securing objectives. I can't tell you how many matches could have been won if my team just captured an objective they'd already cleared instead of camping beside it and letting the enemies keep it. Every second you ignore the objective, it's free progress for the other team, and that adds up fast. Playing the objective doesn't just help your team, it also creates more action, more XP, and more consistent winning for you. You'll improve and level up way faster because you'll constantly be in high value fights that actually matter if you are to play the objective. Tip number 5 is to use the right class and loadout for the situation at hand. One of the biggest mistakes players make in Battlefield 6 is sticking with the same class and loadout every single match. This game isn't always a one-size-fits-all, and your effectiveness depends on how well you adapt to the situations unfolding around you. If you're in a game where vehicles are dominating the map, switch to an engineer and focus on countering them. The key is to treat your class like a tactical role, not a comfort pick. Battlefield rewards adaptability. Being the player who fills the gaps your team needs is how you win more games and rack up XP faster. And remember, loadouts matter just as much. Build setups that suit the fight you're in and the map you're on. If you're on a map with a ton of close range combat, swap to an AR or an SMG or a shotgun rather than a sniper. It all varies on whichever map and situation you are in. Tip number 6 is to be more patient in gunfights. You don't need to sprint straight into the objective to try and solo 8 enemies. Battlefield isn't Call of Duty. Your movement is heavier, you're easier to hit, and the time to kill is much lower. That means aggression without awareness usually ends in an instant respawn screen for you. Patience wins fights. Take the extra second to position smartly, use cover, and pick your shots, especially at mid to long range. Stop mag dumping, instead tap fire your weapon. It keeps your recoil tight, your accuracy high, and you'll land far more shots than the players that wildly spray. I've made a conscious effort to do this over the last week, and the difference is huge. I'm winning way more duels and finishing fights way more consistently by tap firing my weapon at mid to long ranges than I was when I was just mag dumping, desperately trying to finish off an enemy. So your takeaway here is to slow down, control your aim, and you'll notice your kills will skyrocket. If you actually take these 6 tips on board, you're going to see instant improvement. Not next month, not next week, but today. Battlefield 6 rewards players who adapt, and now you've got everything you need to dominate every lobby you join. If you made it this far into the video, drop a Battlefield 6 in the comments so I know who the real ones are, and I'll go through and heart every single one. Thanks for watching, I appreciate you guys, and until next time, take care.